Let's go! Who's up next?
Welcome, Internet, to the Xbox Empire podcast, part of the Play Some Video Games network of podcasts. I'm Elaine. Donnie's here.
What's up?
It's just us again.
Just us.
It's good.
It's going to be that way for a little bit.
That's probably cool. I mean, you guys like us who are listening to this, I think.
I don't like
hope.
having guests every week.
Oh, me neither. It's exhausting.
I mean, I like, so I guess the better way of saying it, I don't like shows that do that generally.
That's fair enough.
And that's not like video game shows or a specific show. It's like all shows. Like I hate sports shows that rotate journalists through every day. Like when I listen to podcasts, I feel like I get attached to the hosts and I want to hear them. So
That's
we
fair.
will only have guests typically sprinkled
once in a while.
around special occasions.
Look, a giant console launched and we did
Exactly.
a thing. Okay,
Exactly.
Look, we have no power over this moment, okay?
Yeah.
And I just happened to be here for it. I like guest-based podcast shows if that is the premise of the show. Like, this is so that I can
It's like
cue them
Mark
up and listen
Maron
to-
does that.
Yeah,
And
lots of people do it. Sean does it too, and I like those podcasts. But I cue them up and I kind of listen to them at intervals. Like I disperse them through my life. It's not like as soon as a new episode comes out, I have
Even with
to have
Sean's
it.
show, which you just went on, so
I
we can
did.
unplug your wares.
Yeah,
Personally, I have a really hard time listening to that every week because I don't know anybody.
right.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I going to spend an hour? You know, and like I feel the same way like with, and that's not towards Sean. I mean, I love his show. So like if there's somebody that I know on, absolutely I'm listening. But if I've never heard of this person before, it's like,
I will do a. This is where the show notes will get me. So if I read your little paragraph blurb and there's something that jumps out, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll find out who you are. So that's like, if you think that people don't read your like podcast notes, I do. I'm the one person you're
one, I was
writing.
gonna say, 'cause
Yeah,
most
I'm
people
the
don't.
one you're writing that.
we had somebody
for.
ask me on Twitter not that long ago, so I may put them on blast, where they could buy a Shaq t-shirt, and it's been in the notes for like 2 years.
It's just one of those things that some people just never read it. They're
Sure,
just like,
of
I
course.
love this podcast. I've
You just
given
press
you my
play.
subscription. Yeah, I know
press
I'm
play.
going to listen. I'm one of those people who's just like, what clever nonsense have you put in your notes? I used to write notes for my shows, so I just like appreciate the craft of doing it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's done just like in almost snarky, cynical ways. That's
But
my
like
favorite.
Mark Maron, super huge podcaster, right? He's got like one of the most popular shows in the world. I started listening to his show because he had a guest that I was interested in, and then I realized that I was like just deleting his show every week for a year, and I'm like, why?
Because you didn't care about the
Yeah, I'm like,
guests,
why
yeah.
am I subscribed to this?
I don't always subscribe. What happens to me is like I'll follow them on social media, see that the new episode is live, read the notes, and
Ah,
like,
so
oh
it's-
yeah, that sounds interesting. That's how I handle it. I subscribe
smart.
to very few. I subscribe to all of our, like most of our podcasts, but that's just because supports.
Speaking of, what other shows were you on?
Dude, this has been a whirlwind of a couple.
You're so popular.
I am not popular.
You
I'm
are
just new.
popular.
Okay.
You are so popular.
I'm a smidgen popular, and I want to say thank you to everybody. So I was on the We Are the Gamers cast with Sean.
Yep.
And then I did PlayStation Experience for PSVG, and that
Out
was
now.
fun. That episode should be out now.
Defected to
And-
the PlayStation side.
Oh, stop. Yeah. So did you listen to that episode?
Of
yet?
course I did.
Okay, good. Because there was like a straight up wrestling promo from Delvin right up front.
Contrary to popular belief, I am absolutely PSVG's #1 fan. I've listened to every show that we've ever
Aw,
published.
Look at you. Look at you. You're so warm and fuzzy with it. And I guested on the Co-op Mode podcast
Ooh.
just a few nights ago, and that episode just went live as of when we were doing this show. So you guys should check. Those two gentlemen are a delight,
Yeah,
and you should listen to that podcast because I love them already.
great.
New fan. So it's been a lot of podcasts, man. My voice is tired.
So you got anything left for Empire this week?
Hell yeah! This
Oh,
is
boy.
my favorite show on the internet, and the Citadel. That's what's up.
The
So
Citadel.
like, yeah, I had to make a Mass Effect. Look, I know who I am. You playing video games still, Donnie? Before we get into the news, is relatively light. We'll talk about some things, but it's not crazy.
So I thought that Immortals came out today, and it does not.
No.
Tomorrow.
Yes, I'm actually after my conversation with the Co-op Mode guys. I'm really looking forward to that. it turns out. It looks cool, and I've watched some video now, and I've listened to people talk about it, and I'm like, I think I'm in the mood to buy another video game. Because I don't have enough video games right now.
Jeff Grubb thinks I like it. Kevin concurs with him. So this seems to be a game down my alley. The demo, I didn't play a whole lot of. I usually don't get into demos. I just kind of like figure out, like get my bearings, and then I bounce. But the dialogue didn't particularly care for.
Fair enough.
Super corny.
Yeah.
Like so much it takes me out of it.
Okay, so here's my...
Not in an entertaining way.
Here's my one issue with it. After watching video, and I haven't played it yet, so this is only based on, like, there's another game that came out in 1.0 this year that did that Greek mythology thing so convincingly well in a way that I like better. It's hard to hold up that mythology in Immortals versus Hades. I just prefer that grittier, darker version better.
Gotcha.
But this is a game that I might get my kids because it's got the Shrek humor. The kids probably
some cussing
won't.
in there too.
A little bit, but that's fine.
I don't care about
better.
it.
Yeah, my kids.
For anybody out there that's thinking the same thing, just know that.
Yeah, my kids know better, but my daughter really loves games that are configured in this way.
Mm-hmm.
She has digested Breath of the Wild now through twice.
Yeah.
With all the shrines and everything. And I think this would be just right for her. So, it's been a tough 2020. How about an extra Christmas present this year is what I'm saying to you.
So me and your daughter both share a similar interest.
Yeah,
in
you guys
design.
would probably talk about those games for hours. She'll tell you all about it, dude.
Yeah, I'm still excited. I mean, I pre-ordered it, so I'm stoked to get into it and see what it is. Hope the story gets better. Hope the dialogue gets better. If it's like that the whole way,
a little much.
I feel like it's just a little much. Maybe it's just rubbed me the wrong way, or maybe I was in a bad mood when I played the demo. But I was like, is really this like the whole thing is like going to be like this? It's like it's a bit much.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's kind of like watching Shrek to me. Like it's got that vibe.
It's parody-ish.
I feel like I need to be in the mood for that kind of humor.
So do I
like it. And so it's going to be that right game, wrong time if I try to tackle it in a funk. I got to be in a good mood, period. If I'm in a funk, that's not going to lift me out of a funk. That requires Viking murder and only Viking murder.
So knowing that it's not out until tomorrow, I couldn't play it, obviously. So I've been playing Halo. I've been playing Halo and Tetris.
Oh, yay. Tetris is so good. All right. So wait, which Halo?
Halo 4.
4 still, and do you still enjoy it?
I do. I love it.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I'm on the final chapter. I was going to finish it, and then my neighbor came over. I've been ripping my house apart for the past week.
Dude. What are you doing laying backsplashes?
I get impulsive.
You're the worst at vacation time.
We've hung a beadboard panel in the dining room and painted the trim. And I've started tiling the backsplash of my kitchen, and I've replaced all the outlets and all the faceplates. I just wanted to spruce it up a little, so I went out and bought all the things. My neighbor is a hell of a construction worker. He's like 80, and he's still doing it. And he built his new bathroom in his house. It looks like the Hyatt, but just his bathroom. So it's like totally odd. You walk into his house, it's like residential, and then he has like this super modern bathroom.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, so I've been tearing that apart. And then I would have finished 4 today. I was in the final chapter, like the final leg. I probably have 20 minutes left of the campaign to beat.
Yeah.
But he came over to help. He was like, hey, let's get started. So I had to put it on hold. But it's my favorite Halo. It's not close.
When you are done with it, we should play Gears 5.
Yeah. Well,
that's what we should do.
Be playing Immortals, but yeah.
Yeah, but eventually we should do that because I want an excuse to go back through Gears 5.
We just got to schedule like a night to play or something.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Like, otherwise we won't.
We can't play. I would not recommend that you play with more than 2 people.
Agree. That one specifically, yes.
I jumped in with the Board of Video Games crew for Extra Life, and I had to play as Jackbot for 3 hours.
Not fun.
We'll just it wasn't fun to play that way.
We'll just do an Empire playthrough.
And I kind of kept playing. They're like, you seriously don't have to do it. I was like, I got nothing else to do. I might as well sit here and just keep zapping people. But
it's funny, when that first came out, I saw a lot of people who really enjoyed playing that role. I don't think I want the gun.
Terrible. Yeah.
I want the gun. I want to shoot things.
I can't imagine thinking that at all. It's like, look at me. I can flash a light and I got this little zapper.
I wonder how my kid would feel about playing that role. Maybe he would dig that because he's not as much like the twitchy shooty stuff he doesn't love as much. Like he likes Fortnite, but he doesn't like the slower moving third person ones. Like
sure,
cover shooters are not his gig. They're mine, but they're not his. So
yeah, we can Gears.
Yeah, let's Gears. More importantly, how do you feel about the Tetris? Did you enjoy the Tetris?
My wife likes Tetris Effect a lot, and it led me to screaming at each other.
No.
We decided to get drunk and play Tetris.
Okay.
We were trying to play a few things and nothing was really fit. So I was like, let's try Tetris. Like we tried Spirit Fair. We wanted to play Spirit of the North, which I've been hearing about and Josh has been playing. Did not know it's exclusive for PlayStation. Can't play it on Xbox. So I had no clue.
I did not know that.
So I was willing to buy. And then I found that out and I was like, well, I'm never going to buy that game now. Because that's...
Fair enough.
So, yeah, we sat down and we started getting into Tetris Effect and she likes it. Problem is, she's awful at it. Just awful. Real bad. So I'm trying to coach her through it. I'm like, hey, like this goes here, this goes there, this goes here. And then you start to think that she's got the hang of it. And then a block comes and there's obvious a place for it to go. And then she starts spinning it. And then I just get super tense because I'm like, is she going to spin it? Is she going to make it back around? And then she goes to the wrong side. And then it just goes bad and the board starts going bad. And I'm just like, I'm like, what are you doing? What kind of person are you?
How did you make Tetris Effect stressful? How did you two manage to make my Zen game so stressful?
Even her playing by herself alone, she finds it completely stressful.
There are two types of people in this world. There are people who find Tetris stressful, which is not an indictment of those people. And there are people like me who played it on the Game Boy in the back of a car by the street lights because there was no backlight on that original Game Boy until we got real good at Tetris. So Tetris is our chill game and our brain shuts off. And that's what happens to me.
Yeah, I just play Tetris.
I just play Tetris. I don't think about it.
So she's really, really good at making rows with one space in it. That's the way
fine.
up. She just leaves one space as she keeps going up and up and up. And it doesn't matter how many times I try to explain to her the concept, it doesn't click. I'm like, look, you can't. She keeps looking at it as and here's the other thing. She will rush to complete any row possible at any moment.
Okay.
So it's like, you can't, you gotta, me trying to explain to her how to plan for pieces to come. It's like oil and water. She just doesn't get that concept. She's like, but Fair. You don't know what's coming. I'm like, but we always know what's coming. If you wait 10 turns, you're going to get at least one of these things. She's
Probably,
like, yes. But I won't. What if you never do? And I'm like, you always
you
will.
You do. I've had some stressful situations. I should stream myself playing that game. I stress my kids out because I'll let it build, at least in certain boards. I'll let it build pretty high. I don't exclusively do that because I play a lot of Tetris 99. So the Tetris 99 game is very different, where you let it build in the beginning and then you start comboing single or double lines later. So the game is different. So my brain sometimes does that because I've played 500 hours of that
I'll
game.
build
I'll
lines
build when I'm
waiting
chill.
for a piece so I can knock out 10 lines at a time and just start crushing out boards. But, we were having fun. It's fun. I'm glad it's on Game Pass.
Me too.
I didn't have to spend any money on it. It's fun that I get to play it. The effects are better or more impressive than I remember them when I played it in VR. Is this the same game as the one I played in VR?
Yes. So here's what happened with this game. So you played it on which VR? Did you play it on the Quest?
PSVR.
Okay, so PSVR, the PlayStation version of this game, I think the particle effects, the best version of this game is probably the PC version. And now this version that is on the Xbox. There is more to me, and I've played freaking every version of this dumb game. This version on the Xbox feels like the PC version with more particle effects and more detail. It's not a ton, but I feel that it's higher res.
Because here's the thing. When I played it in VR on PlayStation 4, I remember, because I got the PSVR unit, I think we did an entire podcast about PSVR. I think I called it boring. I was like, it's Tetris with some floaty things in front of your face. It's like, why do I want to put on all this gear just to play Tetris? It didn't feel like a mesmerizing experience. Fair. It wasn't Rez, or anything like that. It wasn't Lumines. I wasn't getting that experience from it, but I think I totally am in full HD.
Yes. On a big screen.
Playing in the dark. I have my neon lights that match the screen.
I do that.
So the wall lights up to the music and everything. And it feels like I'm not trying to say it's transcendent or anything, but I feel more impressed by playing this experience than I did then. And I'm not exactly sure why. But the VR thing was not doing it for me. I was like, I don't understand why everybody likes this.
I like it on Quest VR because that's just the headset that you pop on, sit on the couch, lean back. That's a different to me because that's a better headset. It just is. I like the PSVR, but the Quest is light and comfortable, and you don't think about the thing. Yeah, and you don't think about the thing that's on your face. That's the problem with the PSVR that dragged me out. I was like, oh, this thing's on my face. Also, it had a ton of float because of the camera, and I kept having to resync it to center. That's not what I want to do in this game. I want my lights out, the music up so loud that I can't think.
Yeah.
And Tetris.
Yeah.
Bright Tetris.
So
and that's how I play it.
We had a bottle of rum. We had the lights out, had it on, turned it up. We were just playing Tetris. We just played Tetris for a few hours. I should say that's after I beat Miles Morales, which I did on Thanksgiving.
Oh, you did. I got into that finally the other day, and I really like it a lot. Like I like Miles better than Peter. That's a personal choice. I've read enough of the comic books. I like that character better. So I'm just vibing with him. I think it's a great Miles. He's very fun. So I like it. I'm impressed.
We're going to do a few Game of the Year wrap up things podcast wise. So I think I'm just going to refrain. I got to chew on it a little bit more. It's interesting. I think it's one of the best games I've played this year.
Fair.
But I don't want to say issues. It just wasn't as impressive as I was, I think, expecting it to be, both from a narrative standpoint as well as like kind of some of the game design stuff that they're doing. Okay. I have some nitpicks, but they're just nitpicks. I very much enjoyed it. So like I said, I think it's one of my favorite games I've played this year. Here's the thing. If it didn't end the way that it did, I think I'd be much worse on the game as a whole. I thought the ending...
Don't spoil that ending because I've heard it's good.
I think the ending's one of the better endings I've seen in a video game.
Did you play the Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man?
Yeah,
yes.
Of course.
We won't spoil that one either because that ending actually kind of made me cry. I'm a crier though. I'm just one of those people, but it was emotional. Did you like this ending better?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's what I've heard from a lot of people, and I just wanted to get your take.
It was just a really great build to the end and what they did, and story-wise and everything. But here's the thing: I kind of felt like it was a kind of a slog or mundane
interesting
build to get there. Like in the middle of the game, I was like, really? Like everybody's so excited about this. And then as we started to get to the end, I was like, oh no, I get it. Like this is great.
I'm curious. I think that I'm glad that one is in that 10 to 15 hour range and doesn't overstay its welcome because it can be. You don't have to do everything. Some people are obsessed.
We did it all. We're not doing the new game. I don't care about trophies and stuff like that.
I don't care about that.
But we unlocked all the suits. We did all the challenges. So
did you come in under 15 hours?
Around there.
Yeah.
Ish. I don't know.
I like that. That's where I want to be with an action game.
It felt like a full game.
Good.
There were parts like leading up to before I got to the end and it was really good. There were parts during that final act, that third act of the game. I kind of wanted it to be over. That's how long I had played it. I was like, I'm ready to finish this off by this point.
Ready to move on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I felt like it was a full game experience. I wouldn't call it DLC or anything like that. It was good.
It gives me the vibes that I got, and I've said this on a number of podcasts, and I lose track at this point, that the infamous Second Son and First Light give me. Like they were this exact same scenario where you're in the same map, but you're a new character. It is longer than First Light. First Light was shorter. I love First Light. I love that character.
I got Fetch over there.
Yeah, Fetch. I want more of that character, but it's the same vibe. Like, oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be with this character.
Yeah.
This is cool. Do you know what I mean? Like it sells that nicely to me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it.
Also, my kids love watching me do the tricks in air. They think that stuff's the greatest. So Spider-Man's cool, dude.
The last time we talked about Halo 4, you said that you had issues with its campaign.
I don't like the story of 4 or 5.
Okay.
I just don't.
So I don't understand Halo's overarching story at all. I don't know
fair enough.
What's going on. I know that there are the Swarm,
rings.
there are rings, there's the other dudes, like there are factions.
The Covenant.
Covenant. Thank you.
Yeah, they all want something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like, but outside of that, like all the different time, like I can't tell you any of it. This story, I like a lot, and I like the Prometheans type thing.
I hate fighting those guys, though. I found them. So is this the story where, spoilers to Halo 4, potentially Halo 5, I'm warning everyone in advance, is this the story where Cortana starts to go, like,
she's losing
rampant? Rampant is the word that I want. So the reason that I have
I love it.
I like that.
Yeah.
The problem that I have is that has been written better and by such a great leap for me. And because I was a Bungie fan for Marathon, and Marathon did that story.
Okay.
And so I'm holding this up against something that is impossible to reach
I
for
gotcha.
me. I think
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like they
And
did
I got
rampancy.
nothing. I got nothing.
Right.
In the Bungie realm or the Halo realm. Like you could have told me that. I think isn't this one is the one the 343 made first, right?
I believe yes.
Right, but I wouldn't have known that if somebody didn't tell me. Like I don't know any better.
Fair.
Right, so I have no backstory here. I'm coming to this thing a decade late. All I know is that I've played a bunch of Halos. I liked Reach, but that's all I would
like
say.
Reach.
I liked it. I'm not gonna go out on a limb and tell you I love it. You know, like I'm not gonna replay Reach. I kind of love 4. Like I really do. Like I am loving this game. I think it's gorgeous. I'm not sure if they
It is pretty.
remastered it on
Oh, no.
the Halo Master Chief Collection or if this is straight 360 code. I didn't play a 360 game that looked like this. It looks insane.
It's very, very pretty.
It's
I will
better
admit that.
looking than 5.
I agree with that, but that I think is more of a style, like a layout and style choice for 5.
And yeah, and I know we're regurgitating things we were talked about, but Ryan told me that this is former retro folks. That these are like Metroid Prime people.
I would buy that, and there's a lot of 4 that I don't hate. I just don't like the narrative, but like I said, that's probably a me thing. I like playing 4 mostly.
The journey is so like Matrixy.
Yeah. Yes, that
and
yes.
I love it. Like I'm here for it. Like this is amazing. Like I'm and I love that they called them Prometheans. And if I hadn't picked up on that today, I would have told you that it reminds me so much of Prometheus and like Alien.
Right. Yes.
And
yes,
it's like,
it does have. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is really cool, and it's super epic, and worlds are exploding, and I'm seeing like solar flares off of my screen. Like I am legit for the first time ever by myself enjoying playing a Halo game.
I will take that. I don't have to like it. I'm glad you're having a blast because it is it's always kind of magical when there's a slew of like 8 games and you've bounced off or only kind of liked a handful of them and then suddenly one grabs a hold of you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, this is the one. That's special, I think, for any video game series to grab someone who was not sold. So then that's your Halo game.
I wasn't
period,
sold on,
you know?
on Halo or
That's
2
fair.
or 3, and I was told that 2 is the greatest thing that
I
the
want
world
to.
has ever seen. And I played it and I
no.
was like, really?
It's fine. I liked the ending for 2 made me legitimately frustrated.
And
I
people
liked 3.
get mad about this. Like they have strong feelings about Halo games.
People have strong feelings about everything.
But here's the thing, like legit 100%, because I have no ties to the series, so you can't even call me a fanboy. Call of Duty's campaigns blow Halo campaigns out of the water.
As a general rule, especially Black Ops, I agree with
They're
you.
not close. But Halo 4's, I'm really liking. For the first time, I'm like, oh, this is a good single player shooter. Like it's at a Gears level for me. Like I will sit here and play this by myself.
I'm glad that you found one that hits because I do think Halo can be special. Like I have very specific gaming memories of Halo that are very, very special. You know what I mean? Especially 3 and ODST, which is the
Now, is it
weird
for story? Because most people's special Halo stuff is playing with friends.
I have
none of that.
I have a multiplayer co-op experience with 3 where we all got it and stayed up all night.
Nice.
And that was like one of those experiences that was just, I like the story
I did
of
that
3
with
fine.
Gears.
I like the story of Halo fine. I don't have the love for it that a lot of people do from a narrative point of view, and I don't ever play competitive multi, so it's really just time and place with most of the Halo games for me.
Sure.
So, but I liked the story in Reach, and I liked the story in ODST.
The story of 4, it's with the librarian and the creator, and Cortana's going nuts, just like all super glitchy, and I'm really into, for the first time, I'm like really into Cortana's character. Like she's leading me along in the narrative, and that's such more investment than I think I've ever had in any of the other games that I've played.
You would have really loved, and it's impossible to go back to, you would have really loved Marathon 2 Durandal because of that theme. And you should at least read a plot summary of what they did there because it was written very specially.
Nope.
But I should know who I'm talking to. The voice actress who did Cortana in 4 did a very good job of selling the rampancy. I will say that. She did a very good job, and I give her a lot of credit.
And I don't even know who this Didac person is or where he came from, but I'm still, like, that's the thing. Like, I've went to other galaxies or dimensions. I don't even know what's happening, and I'm still in it. Like, I'm still all in.
I'm glad. The issue that I mostly had is they didn't wrap up any of those endpoints. Like, they didn't give me as much as I wanted. I wanted more of that. Like, the detail, I want more of why she's going rampant and what's causing. And
here's a silver
Didac
lining. I'm really happy that I discovered this after I played 5. Because if
Fair
I
enough.
discovered this Before
And
5, like
you
if
would've-
Master Chief Collection came out, I got my Xbox One. I play all the Halos. I sit here for 2 years talking about how I don't like Halo. I find Halo 4. I actually like Halo, and then I played 5.
You would have been heartbroken.
Super pissed.
So that's part of my problem with 4. I wanted answers and more, and 5 doesn't give you jack.
5
and it's
is not
very
good.
So what happens with 5 is because that campaign didn't cash in on all the setup from 4, I dislike 4 even more because it's like you didn't give me enough for this to stand alone now. When
So
it
you're
wraps
like,
up.
none of this makes any sense.
It's frustrating because they
Here's the
could have
funny
gone
part.
further.
Playing 1 through 3 and
Didn't
then
make any
reaching
sense.
it. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. None of this makes any sense.
You have no investment, so you're in this happy place of cool, dude, give me
Sure.
more weird, and that's great.
Yep.
That's rad.
That's exactly where I am because after I finished Reach, Sean told me, he was like, you got to stop trying. Because we were playing Reach, and the whole time I'm like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And he's like, you got to stop. Just quit worrying about it. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. Just play and have fun.
True.
So here I am I played Halo 3 that way. And I'm like, I don't love this game. And then Halo 4, I'm playing the same way. And I'm like, I kind of do.
Because there's nothing, you don't need any of that previous
Right,
stuff.
I
That's
don't
why
care.
you're all in. You don't have any attachment, and that's great. I played 4, and I was like, okay, I see where you might be going here. And then 5 ruined it. And I was like,
Wow.
well, now you've made 4 shittier because you left open plot points everywhere, and that makes me upset.
I
So.
feel like for the first time, I'm actually anticipating a Halo game. Like at this point, it's not my
Ooh.
favorite. It's definitely not my top most anticipated game, but I am anticipating Halo Infinite. Like I'm excited to play it. Had
I'm
it
glad.
launched like a year ago, if you asked me that question, I would have told you on launch day. I wouldn't even have played Halo Infinite.
You would have written it off.
I would have
I
written
think
off. I wouldn't even have played it. Like if you were like,
Right. Yeah.
Series X is coming out. Cyberpunk, Valhalla, and Halo Infinite. I'd be like, see you later, Halo.
Bye, Halo.
Right.
One must die.
Right, but if you're like,
Kicks it into
Halo's
the
coming out in
volcano.
May, I'm gonna be like, dude.
That would be a great time. That would be like, I'm burnt out on open world games. Give me your shooting.
Yeah.
Slightly linear campaign shooting. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm having a
good.
blast.
I'm glad you're having.
Can't wait to
that's
finish
what-
it.
Good. That's what this is supposed to be about. That's what video games are supposed to be about. Not cynicism on the internet, dude.
Well, I will tell
I
you,
know.
I'm committed to still like my Discord hiatus is still pretty much on like I check in now. What I'm doing is I'm checking in like once a day.
I see that. I see
Yeah.
you in there, and I'm just like, I see what he's doing,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
I'm doing the same thing on Twitter.
Good.
I'm kind of off like I'm not off. It's not that I'm not into it, but I noticed this week. I was reading an article about the Phil Spencer comments about toxicity and stuff, and he was talking
Oh
about
yes.
all the back and forth. And I was listening to a podcast talk about it, and they kept going on, and it dawned on me just listening to their podcast how much I've stopped looking at those videos and those arguments and things now that we have console and games. Like now that my console and games are here, it's like I'm not watching every video that Rand and Dealer and everybody makes anymore. I'm not like consuming every bit of info that I can because the unknown is now known. I now have it, and so now I'm just kind of playing games.
I think that if you fill your hobby time with social media, you're setting yourself up for it to wreck your mental health eventually. And it's like insidious because it creeps. Like you just find yourself annoyed and you're like, why am I so pissed? And it's like, because you read a bunch of cynical ass comments on Twitter for an hour.
Yeah.
That's why you're annoyed.
That's
And
a good
it
point.
weighs. And I'm very conscious of that now. Cause I mean, like the pandemic wrecked my mental health. So I'm just like, no, you need to go in the drawer. I'm going to play video games now.
Yeah.
So
I have been having a great little time escaping all of
Me
that
too.
back into my video games. Like I'm kind of,
good.
found my happy place.
Mine's in Viking Land. I said I was going to play the Call of Duty campaign. No.
No, still Valhalla.
No, I'm still murdering.
Still murdering.
I'm playing the dice game for 4 straight
I was going to
hours.
ask you, do you make it Asgard yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm still meandering my way through the world.
The thing that I want to hear,
love it.
listeners or Elaine, whoever gets there first, is I want to know how much of this game I haven't played. Right? Like how much, because I know, like, I don't even think I got half of it, to be honest with you. I don't think I'm halfway
Probably
there.
not. I know it's big. I have a friend in one of my other Discords who is like, his name is Sam, and he's getting close to the end of the story. But like, you can digest this game past that, probably.
Yeah.
So
I want to know how much story I have left out there because I'm going to come back to it.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
Whenever. whenever.
it's going to be a while.
You know, sometimes when I get myself into a situation like this is, you can see how type A I am, everybody, right now. If I bounce back and forth between games, I leave myself like a note that's like 4 bullet points about where the story has been. just so I don't have to I want to know, because I am invested, especially in this character and this story. But I'll totally be like, these 3 important things happened, and I'll leave a sticky.
Gotcha.
And then when I'm on the game case or wherever, and then when I'm ready to come back, I'll just be like, right, that's where I was.
That's really smart, actually. So here's the thing. I feel like I left at a really good spot where I don't feel like there's anything, like
hanging.
I got it. Yeah, like, no, I really felt like I got off the ride at a really good point where nothing, at this point, there's nothing left
That's
open-ended.
But that problem with that is that's the point where you forget what happened before. You know what I mean? That's why I do the bullets. And it's literally just like a couple scribbles, and I stick it, because I still buy physical media because I'm like that. And I stick it on the game case, and I'm like, if I'm going to bounce off you for a week or two, I could, because I'll constantly get into the loop. Like, I don't remember what was happening. I should start over.
Sure.
You'll never finish a video game, Elaine. It's like, stop doing that. So,
yeah.
you know, but
I'm thinking like when they release the first DLC or something, because I haven't done enough side quests or side quests or side content to start the next main campaign. So that's where I don't know where this is going, because it's like I haven't started that next main campaign. I put the new king in the power. I fought the thing. I raised the fort. I did it. I upgraded my village. So now it's like,
where next? Where does it go next?
I don't know where to go next. So that was a really good place for me to stop. That's like, I don't even know where to go.
I like those stopping points because they let me bounce into something smaller and then come back. I'm not even there yet. I'm meandering my way through this world and mixing it in with a bajillion other games like Miles
Cyberpunk.
Morales. And
like I may never come back to this game.
So here's my thing about Cyberpunk. I'm waiting to play it because I'm just going to wait for the patch next year. That's fine.
Sure.
I'm not in a rush. It's going to be a 200-hour video game.
Yep.
It's okay.
And I'm getting started on it real soon.
Good. Like, it's a week away. Tomorrow. Right? The 10th?
Yep.
I don't believe it. I'm still cynical. I'll be holding the box in the line at my... Yeah, I know. I'll be holding the box in the line at my Best Buy and look at these store clerks who know me by first and last name because I buy so much crap at that Best Buy.
If you mailed it, people are getting them already.
Really?
Yeah,
from Best Buy?
There's pictures all over.
Oh my God.
Collector's edition stuff. People already have the game. It's in hand.
I have it store pickup at my local store. I'll drive up. They'll put it on my... I love this curbside pickup thing. Deliver me video games.
Yeah. The
reason I did that is because it comes with a steelbook, and if it gets shipped, they always get dented, and I'm weird about that. So, type A.
Sure.
That's kind of all the games. Let's talk about the news. There's a lot of little things. Let's get one of them out of the way first, because neither of us cares about esports. This is not a slight against esports. It's that neither of us knows anything about esports. Maybe Microsoft has purchased the online video game platform Smash.gg.
Yeah.
Maybe they say they have, but Microsoft hasn't released a statement.
Sort of they have.
Oh, did they finally?
Well, so Microsoft owns MSN.
Yes.
And MSN's esports Twitter handle confirmed it.
Sure. Okay. So this is not like a big.
It's not going to be an Xbox platform.
Push. No, this is MSN owns this.
This is going to be web content for them. And I honestly don't know if anything will change with the service at all.
I doubt
Probably
it.
not.
They're just going to pull the feed and
it's just advertising.
So,
and as I understand it, I don't mean to do a disservice to this, but my understanding is that Smash GG is like Eventbrite for video games.
It's like smaller organization for smaller like esports type stuff.
A game tournament. You can sign in and you can schedule and post findings and results. It's like Eventbrite. It's like an event management, but specifically for gamers.
I'm sure someone's going to yell at us about this, but look, I'm going to be honest with you. I watch the Evo stuff because it's on actual TV, and I love putting that stuff on in whatever ESPN sub-channel it comes on and just making my husband roll his eyes.
Ocho?
I always make the Ocho joke with it. I'm like, look, it's on the Ocho. My husband's like, please stop.
So I'm going to make some people mad and just go ahead and tell you that I really don't care about esports.
That's fine.
At all.
I actually think it's a generational thing.
I have a really hard time getting into watching people play video games.
Video games? Do you not? Okay, so I am one of those people who pulls up streams or puts up Evo when I'm doing something else in the background.
Nope.
I get it. I know a lot of people will watch a Twitch stream and be like, I'd rather just be playing this game. I'm going to go play this game. So it's
not even that. It's like some of the esports stuff. All right, so some of them I like. Siege.
Okay, Siege is fun to watch.
I think it's fun to watch.
I'm so bad
How
at
those
Siege,
teams are
that's why.
good, but the
Yeah.
way that game is conveyed as you're watching it makes sense. Most of the
Yes.
esports stuff or PC games that, to be honest with you, I don't understand. Like the legacy, rogues, whatever, the fighting games where you get a character and they all fight each other that are like super huge, like the Blizzard games and stuff like that.
I know what you're talking about, like the MOBAs. I can't.
I don't know
'cause
what's
I don't
happening.
understand.
I don't
Yes.
know who's who. Like I don't have it. I don't know.
I love watching fighting games because I understand fighting games, and
Sure.
I used to play a lot more of them, but I don't have the time to invest in being good at them anymore. So I love watching people who are amazing.
I've tried
at
the
them.
Smash stuff. I still
I
can't
can't
get
watch
into
Smash
it.
Brothers. It's Street Fighter for me and
Okay.
Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. Those guys are amazing.
I feel like I often just get frustrated that I don't know how to do any of that.
yeah,
I'm like, dude, I really suck at video games.
I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm terrible at Street Fighter now. 4 and 5, I'm bad. I was great
Make
at
you
2.
not even want to play it. You're like, oh,
No,
what's the point?
yeah, I don't want to play it because I know I won't invest the hours into being that kind of good and understanding it. So I love watching people who are good at it. But
I
that's where it
really
stops.
liked the Mario Maker 2 stuff that E3, that Nintendo did at E3.
That was cool.
That was really fun
was
to
cool.
watch. But it was like whimsical, and there wasn't like there's a billionaire, team manager and they've got matching
Yeah.
jerseys. Like I don't get into all that. Like I can't. Like the Overwatch
fair.
leagues and stuff like that. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to tell you, I watch Masters Tetris every year, though, because you want to feel bad about yourself. That makes me feel really bad about myself. And I'm good at Tetris. I not that kind of good. But I understand. I have to watch games that I understand the game. It's just like this is just like watching football. This is why so many people hate
Everybody says that, but I don't think so.
If you don't understand the game of football at all, it's very hard to enjoy it. Hockey is one for me. If I don't understand the game super well, I get frustrated because it's like, I want to know what's going on, but it's so complicated to me. Or cricket. I so want to know how cricket
It's
works.
like I've tried to watch the Overwatch League because they're like the ones that are getting like big TV time and stuff. And like the idea that they have these teams and they're branded and it's just like sports. And every time I watch it, I'm like, but it's not. It's not just like sports. 'Cause
No,
these
it's different.
These are 19-year-olds that are playing Overwatch. That's not like sports. Like
No.
I get that. I'm not trying to demean that it's not skillful and everything. It's just, it's not.
It's different.
not
It's
like
different
sports,
than, yes, trying
know?
to sell it as sports is a disservice. But
Yeah.
my football analogy is not to say it's just like football. It's to say that an observer who knows nothing about
Sure,
the
no, that I
game,
get.
it's so hard to enjoy. So
Yeah.
like, I get it. I have friends who are like, I don't get football. I hate it. I'm like, well, I don't get Overwatch.
Apparently esports is big money. That's what I'm
It
told.
is huge money.
Can't
So-
believe it, but yeah, that's what I'm told. So
All right, so video games are getting updates, and I think
Yeah.
this will be the story of the month for the next few months. Sea of Thieves, which is a game that I don't love and you don't love, but we'll talk about this because there are people who love Sea of Thieves. And it
right.
got a pretty good update, and it's getting a battle pass type situation in January, I think.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So you get progress levels. There will be seasons.
it's weird.
That's compelling enough to get me to try it.
Really?
Like, yes, because I needed that. I don't
This is like the new
meandering.
thing now, right? Rocket
Yeah, it
League,
kinda
Fortnite. Fortnite started it, right?
Sure.
I think Fortnite
Sure,
was
yeah.
the first game that I was aware of the Battle Pass. And hey, it works. I bought the Battle Pass today for Fortnite.
My kids want it. They're
Yep.
going to get it this
Yeah,
weekend.
bought it for Jack. It's got the Mandalorian in it. Gotta do it.
I saw that. My biggest problem with Sea of Thieves was it just kind of felt meandering, and I like having somewhere to go or like a goal.
Things to do.
So I feel like if you give me a battle pass that's compelling enough, then yeah, I'll check it out. I'll why not?
So the question is, like, is it compelling enough? Because I think the first thing that they said is you got to go investigate. You got to go find clues that could be
I like
underwater
that.
or on islands to then go find a lost shipwreck.
I'm okay with that if they guide me enough. So I'm going to see. I'm going to check this out because I haven't given Sea of Thieves a
Is
fair
that
shake.
3 months worth of?
I don't know. We'll see.
Because that's their thing is it's going to roll
That's-
3 months, every 3 months. That's their content.
Are they charging for it?
It's free.
Well, then I have nothing to lose.
No, you definitely don't. And
you
to
know?
give them tons and tons of credit, I think I wrote in here, Sea of Thieves continues to grow year over year with over 11 million players
Yeah.
in 2020 across console and PC.
Free content is good content, dude.
It's a huge win for Rare.
I agree, especially the way this kind of came out of the gate too. They did claw this back with a few updates.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they did a good job. I want to go back in and check it out now that it's got its content set and they're giving me a reason. And if I don't like it, I've lost nothing.
I hate that I don't like this game. I wish that I was like, Chris, the Player One podcast and all that. And like, I know him and Sean, I think, have gotten into it a ton, and I've seen others I know that have played it a bit. And Coach Mo, for one, absolutely loves this game. He's played it for 1,000 hours. I've tried on multiple occasions, and again, I play Halo all by myself. Like, it's not my game. It's never was going to be, because I can't get in a rowboat and row myself around.
Fair enough.
It's like it's that divide by itself. It's like, I hate sailing by myself. And I hate that because it is a beautiful game.
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Just make a different game in that same world is all I've ever wanted. And I've never gotten it. I've never gotten the opportunity.
I'm curious to see what kind of content they throw in here. I've only ever given this game one shake, and I didn't enjoy it because it was very early and it was still kind of content light, and I was just like, it's not for me. This is enough for me with all of the stuff they've done in the middle. Why not? Let's see what's up.
I've had fun with it when I've been carried by others. Like we had a fun time. Coach Mo, me, Jason, we all hopped in and played, and they basically just told me what to do, and then we just have shenanigans, right? Like, you can do that. And that's super fun.
Part of the fun.
Yeah, you gotta
that's
have friends, and you gotta coordinate it, and you gotta do it. And I typically don't play that way.
At the time that this game originally came out, like, I just didn't have the time to coordinate that. Like, it just didn't exist in my life. You know what I mean? Like, if I wanted to play games, I had a very small window, and I couldn't just hang on a weekend and play this game. Now my kids are older. My kids want to play Fortnite without me. I have more of that flexibility, so it's like, why not? Let's go. Just check it out. Mm-hmm. And speaking of other things I actually really want to check out, State of Decay 2 got its Xbox Series X and S optimization patch that came through. They say faster load times, better shadow detail and lighting. That stuff's a given. You get your 4K resolution. You get your 60 frames. They added a difficulty, I think a higher one. And they got a bunch of additional items that are earnable in-game. I liked the first State of Decay, and I still haven't played 2. That game was already hard.
It is hard.
To me. I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it.
I thought I liked this game. I said nice things about it when it was early in development. Because I bought the first one on sale on PC when I had my Steam box, and I played it for like a day, 2 or 3 hours, and I was into the concept. I was like, all right, we're gonna have like a real survival sim zombie game. This sounds great. It's serious. This isn't
serious business.
Yeah, this isn't Dead Rising. It's serious. Let's get serious here, guys.
It's really not.
the sim management and the resource management completely have taken me out of this.
Fair enough. Point,
I don't like this game. I don't want to see it made anymore. I want Undead Labs to make anything else.
God, I think
that's
what
where I
you
am
want.
Now.
You want to play Dying Light. I would rather play this game because I actually do like that base building type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's cool, and I like min-maxing and playing that game.
So answer me this. I love Grounded.
Interesting.
What is it about Grounded that I like that I don't like about State of Decay?
That's a really good question. I haven't played Grounded, but my understanding is there are less systems. That's my understanding.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just too complex.
I think it's just too many layers for you for State of Decay, and when they strip just a few of them off, you're like, I can get with this. It's less to worry about. I can just enjoy it, set a few things, forget it, and go.
It felt so organic with Grounded, where State of Decay, there's so many things that you have to constantly be doing. It feels, to me, completely tedious. I feel like I'm completely on the clock all the time, having it. I'm like, this is not the game that I want.
Yes. That's, for some people, that's incredibly stressful. And they're just like, I can't enjoy any moment of this without worrying about 15 other checkboxes. For my very active engineering brain, I'm just like, but I can maximize my efficiency. It plays to who I am.
I just want to go out and scavenge some stuff and bring it back. And I want to go explore, what's over here? Meanwhile, everybody at my base is dying and being attacked. I have no idea what I'm doing wrong.
You want to play Dying Light,
kind of,
which is, I think that game is created for what you want. You know what I mean? It's that's the clip of where
Dead Rising. Now that we have Dying Light and Dead Rising, and it's just
right
now, they just teased State of Decay 3. When they showed that at that thing, I was like, no,
you don't have to play it. I'm gonna play it because it's gonna come to Game Pass and I can just play it.
Because everybody, a lot of people, a lot of detractors, they're like, I wish 343 would do a non-Halo game. I wish the Coalition would do something not Gears. Yeah, I wish Undead Labs would do something not State of Decay. I'm always one of those people who's like, if a studio does something well and they enjoy doing it, let them do it until it doesn't sell anymore. But that's a me, I would love to know if this one's selling and being played. I'm sure it is.
I think it is.
Every
I think
game
this is done
is,
well. Yeah.
But like, what is well? Ultimately, you know what I'm ultimately trying to say? I probably wouldn't have bought them.
Fair. This has outperformed the first State of Decay aggressively and has had consistent player counts in it, as far as I understand. I know people who love this game, and it's done. It seems to have performed well enough for them to make a third game. That's your tell. There's no way they would continue making these games if it wasn't doing well enough to. They would just add content.
I mean, they need content for Game Pass, right? Like they were just.
There are hundreds of games on Game Pass. Do they need
So my thing is like they're a first-party developer, and it's like, is this like I don't know, and maybe I'm just being a hater. Maybe you're right. I just don't like it.
I think you're being cynical because you don't like it. I think what you need to see is
I
that
like Grounded. It's so much more fun.
I haven't played that yet.
I fought a spider.
No, ew.
Where's the spider in this game?
There's a setting to turn the spiders off.
Where's the setting? Where's the spider in this game? You have like this stupid bloater.
How do you think all the zombies started? Everybody's like, oh, Spider-Man. I'm like, no.
Worst zombie game ever. Wow.
Someone's going to send you some mean notes. I don't hate State of Decay. This is going to give me an excuse to install too. I just, at the time it originally came out, I just didn't get there. There's too many video games. And I think Microsoft bought them specifically to make more of these games. That's what they bought them for. Yeah, and that's what they're expecting. And
it's a PC leanish game too. You know,
it works well on console.
If I think of it more like Age of Empires and less like Dead Rising or State of Decay, you know, if I think of it more like that, it makes a little bit more sense. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't do it for me. It really doesn't.
Fair enough.
I'm sorry, listeners. I really am. I found Halo. You're not going to hear me say mean things about Halo anymore.
Let's just see what happens with State of Decay 3, guys. I'll work on it. Just don't send the hate mail.
Sorry, CJ. I wish I loved Sea of Thieves. I really do. I want them to take the Sea of Thieves assets, make a Fable game. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about things that Donnie does like, because if we don't, everyone's going to set the internet on fire. Hey, you know what I like?
What do you like?
The Xbox Empire, as previously seen on Eurogamer, Games Radar, MSN.com, previously heard on the Giant Bomb podcast.
We rode Jeff Grubb's gorgeous locks straight to these mentions, and I'll take it.
Heck yeah, we did. Rand talked about it. He sourced the other guy that took our quote, but he did talk about the story.
I don't even care. It was just I woke up.
That's what I told him.
People keep tweeting me these things, and I'm just like, I don't know. It brings me the weirdest internet joy.
Oh, it's blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's cool.
We did it. For one day, we did it.
Yeah, don't forget about us, internet. Keep listening. All right, other things that Donnie likes. Donnie likes his Xbox Series X. Donnie likes it a lot. Donnie likes console updates. He's had this update for a while because he's in the preview ring.
True.
Worth noting, if you want your console updates early and don't mind a certain amount of risk, and you can choose how much, the preview ring stuff is worth looking into. Google it.
They're overhauling that too. The Xbox Insiders Club. They're redoing the app as well. There's a new beta for new app, so you can even get in the beta for the app.
How much risk would you like to assess in your life? You may choose. Give you these.
You see the people that are modding their console.
That's nuts.
People are putting the RGB in it, and then the other people that are paying for the dev mode switch so they can put emulators on it.
Well, they're putting RetroArch on it. I was just reading stories about that today.
Are you doing that on day one launch hardware?
Because they don't care. Because they
talk about a risk.
They probably bought two.
Like the risk that you're taking, way worse than getting the insider preview.
That's true, but the type of people who take the type of risks where they put weird lights and RetroArch on their boxes, they bought two.
I want the lights.
This is what they do.
I want the lights. Bad.
I want lights. I want lights. All right, so this new console update is out, and a lot of you probably already had it. Notable features. If you go into Game Pass and games are not out yet but are coming soon, you can preload them. That's dope.
Yep.
And I love it. Dynamic backgrounds are in. There's a bunch of themes, customizable colors. I guess it now indicates which games are optimized for the series consoles.
Yep.
And there is an auto HDR indication when it is active.
So you're not in the preview ring.
Nope.
So when you go to your library and you see all of the tiles, can you not sort by console type?
You can. I can.
Do you not see the Xbox Series X and S badge?
Keep in mind, I have like 3 games installed.
I'm
not the Dragon Lord of video games. I'm not sitting on a golden pile of installs.
I have like 15, installed. I think, that are already optimized, that are in that top group.
Fair enough.
Listeners, if you go to that library, select sort by console type, and what it will do is it'll take all of your Series X games, move it to the top of the list. And
Yes.
then your Xbox
Yes.
One X games that are enhanced, and then Xbox One, and then 360, and so on and so forth. It's a much easier way to sort your library, at least by because I've got I think we have over 700 games or something. Like, there's a ton of titles in there. There's a bunch in there.
And this is just an additional, this existed on the one where you could sort, and they're just adding another layer to it. They're just adding an extra drop down in the box. It should have been there on day one. I don't know why it wasn't, or it was, but it didn't have the badge on the game tile, I guess. It would sort them. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the preview ring. I don't know. It was so funny when this came out, everybody was like, they're fixing it, they're making better. And I'm like, if you guys care this much about this, that you're making YouTube videos,
you should be in the preview
ring. Like, what are you doing?
I don't care
Maybe
enough.
they just don't know.
It's true, though. That is not something that Microsoft publicizes. So if you're not in the know, it's easy to miss that.
Get in the Insiders Hub. Sign up for the preview ring.
It's
you can
free.
sign up even if you're on the outer ring, the least risk ring. You got this update 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. You've had this update. So get in the preview ring.
Yeah, if you care, get in the. I just don't. I don't care.
Yeah, if you don't care, then it's not even a story for you. But I was surprised at how many people were like, check out all this new stuff. Everybody wrote about it.
Well, I think that it is notable because there are more people who are not in preview rings than are in them. That stuff, even at low risk, you're still rolling the dice if something is broken. And some people just don't feel comfortable with that. I like the, ooh, shiny, look what I can do now feeling on Christmas morning feeling. So
gotta get those
preloading Game Pass games is the legit best feature of this thing. That's dope. Yeah. I love that. I love being able to preload a game that I'm going to buy on disc.
So I was a little interested about this one because I thought that they made it where you could pre-install anything from the entire store at any time.
I don't know that it was anything.
Okay.
I think it was a lot of things. And I think that...
Yeah, because even if you didn't buy it, you could download it.
Yes.
But you needed the check to get through. Right. So I thought that just applied to Game Pass. Maybe it didn't.
No, I don't think it did because those are digital titles. There's no check.
And I think that the check is the difference, right? You could download the game that was coming to Game Pass from the store, but when you went to start it, it wasn't going to. Yeah. It was going to check if you had bought it, not if it's in Game Pass.
Right, exactly. I don't think they linked those two systems.
That makes sense.
It was sense. I think they applied this ability to the store, which is separate from Game Pass, and they source the games differently for you. Mm-hmm. So, but I think this is great. I know what's coming out on Game Pass, and we'll get there in just a second. In fact, let's talk about what's coming out on Game Pass if you want to pre-install some video games, if you're listening to this live. This is the worst kept secret in the entire internet. Control is on Game Pass, tomorrow.
We had the story that they were hinting at it, but then they've announced it since then. This goes all the way back to when Phil said it last year.
And then there was a tweet, a clever little tweet, and they're hinting at it with their silly insider emails.
Melissa McGame Pass.
I love that.
I'm gonna go as Melissa McGame Pass for Halloween next year.
You should just have an email taped to your torso. This is the original version of Control, not the Ultimate Edition, and not the DLC. That's worth noting.
Bummer.
If you don't know if you're gonna like Control, this is a good way to find out if you're gonna like Control.
Of course. Control is this game. They're doing it on Stadia. They're on Luna. They are putting this game anywhere that anybody wants to give them money for it.
Yeah, twice.
Is it 505?
Yep.
Publishing? They're like, hey, you want to give us some money?
Hey.
Control.
How you doing? Oh, you bought Control? Oh, you're going to need to buy
cloud version on Switch. They're wherever we can put this game.
I'm glad that this is their game that they're latched onto. I wish they would have given
my game of the year last year.
I love Control.
So
I haven't played the DLC yet. I'm going to get there.
I didn't like the DLC. I didn't like the first DLC so much. I didn't even try the Alan Wake thing. I was like, I'm done.
Fair enough. I'm going to play it. Because I'm that person, and I have to play Alan Wake. Do not.
But it was my favorite game last year.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
If you don't know if you'll like the vibe of it, there you go. Then you have Game Pass. Cool. Other notables. This one's notable to me. Doom Eternal is hitting PC Game Pass
today.
Doom Eternal is awesome, and if you have a beefy PC, that's the place to play Doom
Great
Eternal.
shooter.
It's a good game. It's a good ass
video
game. Dragon Quest XI hitting console and PC Game Pass on the 4th. Call of the Sea, which is one people keep telling me I need to check out, on the 8th. Yeah, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair and Greedfall, both very good games, both underrated.
I don't know what Greedfall is.
Third person.
I know there's Greedfall, there's Godfall. There's
Not the
another
same
Falls.
games.
Like I don't know which one's what and which one starts where.
Greedfall is cool.
Is it?
Ukulele,
Is it a shooter?
yes. Nope. It's like a slashy, like a third person adventure type of like third person action
Like
RPG.
Devil May Cry?
Not quite that far. More like an RPG. More like trying to think of the game that I want to summon here because it's not quite Dark Souls. It's not like obtuse and incredibly difficult. The game I want will come to me.
Okay.
It's got a
Should I
Mass
play it?
Effect. I think you should at least check it out.
Okay.
I like it, and I wish more people had seen it.
Okay.
So,
That's enough. That's all I need. Ukulele and the Impossible Layer?
excellent.
Amazing game.
Please play.
Nintendo
Please play.
quality-esque platformer.
The first Ukulele was not
Sucked.
my favorite. This one is exceptionally good.
People didn't
Nolan,
like that opinion the first time either. If people hated my opinion on them, sorry, Jacob. I hated the first Ukulele. Not good.
I don't love it. It's fine, but I didn't love it. This one I love.
Yeah,
and
this
will
one's
recommend
amazing.
to almost
This one's
everybody.
really, really, really good.
Also of note, if you don't have Game Pass, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast if you don't have Game
Game
Pass.
Pass podcast.
If you do not have it and you have never signed up for it, you can get your first 3 months for $1 starting on the 3rd. Oh my God, just do it. I don't want to have this conversation with you people anymore. 2 more notables, The Goose Game, which you should play because it's dumb and silly, and Metro are leaving on the 15th.
Yep. So if you wanted to play them, you
Do
gotta
it
play
now.
them super fast.
Or you're going to have to buy it. Tell me about the December games that are coming out.
Before I do, I want to say we're also getting Super Hot on
Oh,
console.
that's right. Mind Control, Delete, or whatever.
That's the new
sort
one,
of-
right?
Yeah, it's the standalone DLC kind
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna play that too.
situation. Hell yeah, do that.
It's exciting because we're getting Haven next
Yep.
week. So Haven and Call of the Sea. So here's the thing. I buy so many games.
Yeah, me
right.
too.
And a lot of times I've heard other people say on Twitter before, especially when I'm getting all super into my Game Pass, promotion, that they're like, I buy my games, I don't need Game Pass. That's the reason I buy Game Pass. I don't buy Game Pass for Control, and I don't buy Game Pass for Dragon Age. Those are games I'm going to buy anyway. I buy Game Pass for Haven and Call of the Sea and
checking out
Greedfall.
Greedfall that you would have never purchased.
I'm never
on a
gonna.
whim.
Yeah, I was probably never gonna buy those games, but I'm ecstatic to play Call of the Sea. It's got
I
all
need
the
to play that.
optimizations. It's a walking sim, just like it. It's got all the colorful stuff. Like, this is a Donnie game. I cannot
Yeah, me
wait
too.
to play it.
Me too.
Right, and I usually think that we get 8, 10, 12, 15 of these a year at $20, $30 a piece. My Game Pass pays for itself just for that.
I also play the game of like, will I like it? I'm gonna rent it on Game Pass and buy it on the sale.
Sure.
I do that sometimes. Like,
Well, here's the fun part. It's like
just do.
I'm treating Game Pass like Apple Arcade. Like, it's just these indie games.
Yeah,
And that's
yes,
but
largely.
that's on top of Forza and Gears and Halo. Like, like all of that comes too. But even without even thinking about that or Madden or Star Wars, like the indie level alone, I'm all in on Game Pass.
I agree. I agree
Just
with
for
that.
that by itself. And I know it's easy to skip over these and worry about when the next big hitter, and Dragon Quest is a big deal. But like Haven, I really want to try. I played the demo during the demo event. I really want to see. It's kind of like this Journey-esque type thing. Like, I want to get into it actually and play a bit of it. So I'm excited. Really cool month for Game Pass. And
A
then
lot of good stuff.
outside of
stuff.
Game Pass, we just had Twin Mirror release and Empire of Sin.
I want to play Empire of Sin.
So
That's
do
my
I.
jam. That's
Me
my
too.
like vibe. Yeah, dude, let's go.
I was going to buy Twin Mirror, actually did, and the reviews came out.
I'm gonna still get it because Vampire, which was also a Don't Nod game, not quite the same, got thrashed in reviews, and I loved it.
Yeah, this one's getting
So
pretty rough.
it's mediocre. It's hitting the middle, and
The best
for me,
review I saw for it, like from Professional Outlet, was a 7.
a mediocre Don't Nod game for me is better than most other
Sure. Yep.
of these type, and I like these type of games. So when I'm in the mood for it, I'm gonna buy it and just play right through it. That's
I'm
what
gonna wait for a sale or Game Pass, just to, I don't really give reviews a whole lot of credence, but when I'm wanting to buy something like out of my money, because to be honest with you, I was between Twin Mirror and Empire of Sin. I'm
would buy
gonna buy
Empire of
one
Sin.
of these games.
I
So,
would buy
yeah,
Empire
I'm
of
gonna
Sin
buy
too.
Empire of Sin, but that's until after I beat Immortals: Phoenix Rising,
Which is the
out
third.
tomorrow, the day
and then-
that you're listening to this.
Then the fourth, John Wick Hex, which I can recommend.
I'm
That's
gonna
a cool
get that
game.
too.
And Dragon Quest 11
Yep.
S, which is the one that came out on Switch.
I'm gonna
the
get John Wick
definitive
Hex
version.
on Switch, I think.
It's also on. It's definitely on PC. It's on the
Yeah,
Epic Game
yeah, of
Store.
course.
I know I own it somewhere. It's good. I don't know. I have like video games everywhere, dude. I'm swimming in them. I'm like Scrooge McDuck in the vault, except it's video games.
When you get to this level where you're podcasting or writing or YouTubing about it, you just like buying video games.
I do, and I like the little
you?
boxes. I do. I like the smell. I feel good. Stop it. That's my look. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke, and I don't do hard drugs.
There's worse vice.
This is my adrenaline. Yeah, this is my vice.
Supporting developers of their video games, but yeah.
On the 8th. Oh, speaking of Dying Light, the 8th is Dying Light Anniversary Edition.
Still not up-res or anything. Just all the DLC.
Really?
Yeah, that's it. It's blowing my mind. They're not. No, they're not doing it.
They're never releasing another game.
This game is in like 1080p. Still.
I own this game like 3 different times.
Same.
I can't buy it a 4th time. You have to. I'm going to wait. And then, of course, on the 10th, no other game will start to matter because Cyberpunk is apparently out.
It's almost here. It's almost here.
I'm buying a copy on the 10th, but I'm probably not putting it in a console until the patch comes.
I'm rolling Nomad, playing right away. I don't know what I'm getting into. I haven't read all the things. I haven't watched all the Night Wires. I don't care. I don't want to. And I'm probably going to go away for a while. Probably not going to see me in the Discord much.
That's very close to our little, year-end, take some time off break. So that's perfect. Donnie is going to disappear into the ether, and I'm just going to stream Tetris, in fact, for 2 straight weeks on this channel. Watch me go, guys. All right. I think that's the news. That's what's going to be the news for the next couple of weeks. But let's talk about questions, because boy, did we get a lot of questions. There was a Game Pass question, one that I wish to address. Just got from Austin. Just got an Xbox for the first time for Game Pass. Oh baby, I added the oh baby. If anyone was wondering, what are your sleeper Game Pass recommendations? I'll let you go first because I actually looked at the list.
So
did research.
Then you go because I haven't looked at the list and I didn't do research.
So this depends on what kind of game you want to play. Obviously, I'm going to give you a few that people may have missed. I think my favorite of the bunch that people may have breezed through is Crosscode, which came out on PC about a year or 2 ago, and then was released on consoles. It's special.
I wanted to play it. I've heard amazing things about it, but I also heard it's like 60 hours, and that's why I never played it.
I would say more like 40, but it is long.
It's a lot.
It is got a 16-bit RPG vibe, but it has dungeon puzzles that give you that real good Zelda game vibe, even more complex than. I actually liked it so much that I bought a Switch physical copy when it was just released this week. That should be here Friday, to support that developer, and because I really enjoyed it.
Gotcha.
If you're in the mood for something a little different. Also, that story blew my fool mind, so check that game out.
Sure.
One other one I would say, you mentioned Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
It's for a certain subset of people, it's kind of an adventure-y game. It has some kind of deep concepts in there, and it could make you cry. It's very special and beautiful.
Really good.
Best cat animation of 2020. Fight me. What about you? You got anything else?
Oh, I got a bunch.
Hit me.
I pulled up the Game Pass page. I immediately I went to the ID page because I'm not gonna plug some AAA developer. They don't need the plug. All right, here we go. Starting from the top, Worms WMD, super fun.
That's a good Worms.
First video game PSVG ever got for review was Worms WMD, and I held a conference call with all the staff members and went bananas excited that somebody actually gave us a game to review. It was years ago, but actually super fun game. I love the game.
Very cute.
What Remains of Edith Finch was
hard agree.
The runner-up for me for game of the year that year it came out. It was my second favorite game of the year. It's an incredible game. Must play. World War Z was my Game Pass game of the year last year. If you've got 2 friends that can play, you have a ton of fun playing that game.
That game is a really good, frenetic.
Better than State of Decay. Again,
when you don't have Left 4 Dead, there's no more Left 4 Dead. Play World War Z.
World War Z is dope. Damn good.
I hard agree on that one. Yes.
Streets of Rage 4. Again,
love that game.
Why do I pay for Game Pass? Pay for Game Pass for Streets of Rage 4. I got that game. Got to play with the Game Pass. It's incredible. Played through it twice. Let's see here. Keep scrolling through. My friend Pedro. All the Devolver games. Any Devolver game. I know you love that.
Any Devolver game. I'll give you a few while you scroll. These are both adventure style games. I won't say point and click, but in the vein. Oxenfree and Night in the Woods. Night in the Woods especially is a very good and interesting look at mental health and relationships. Like Oxenfree is special to me. I didn't like After Party as much. Oxenfree is rad.
I would agree with everything you just said. Here's a crazy one. The Hunter.
I have not played that.
It's a good game.
Do I need
It's
to play
a
that?
good hunting game. It really
I've
is.
heard good things about that video game.
Yeah,
but
I think
haven't
we
played
make
it.
fun of them all the time because of the Cabela's and everything.
Yeah.
This game, 10 times better than those games.
That's so weird.
The Tourist,
The Tourist is, yes.
I adore. And it's at
Yes.
like 6K 120 or whatever they've done to that damn game on
It's
Series
insane.
X. It's ridiculous, but it's enhanced. The Tourist
is.
is not for everybody though. It's an adventure game and it's super obtuse. You got to go talk and click on everything to figure it all out. But if you
Old
like
school.
that type of stuff, this game is fantastic. And I beat it on Switch and I had a blast with it. And I said all the things I could possibly say about it. Hyperdot.
I have not played that one either.
If you like
Not played that
Tetris
one either.
Effect
I do.
or arcade games, or if you're like me and you liked Geometry Wars, you've got to give Hyperdot a try. It's so much fun. That's probably the last game me and the wife sat down and really like played together.
This is a fun game. Lonely Mountains Downhill.
That's a
is
really
one
good
that I will
one.
recommend. I think a lot of people breeze by that one, and it's like you're on a bike and you're going down a mountain and you have to figure out how to navigate, and
Mm-hmm.
you horrendously disfigure your guy and try again. It's very meditative and chill, and I like that game a lot.
Is Katana Zero still on Game Pass?
I think it was removed, and it's too bad because it's great. I will also mention
my favorite indie
Celeste
games.
because Sean dropped that one in the chat, and Celeste is a game. Is among my favorite of that type of like very challenging platformer that
Sure.
also tells a very compelling and interesting character story.
Hollow Knight's still on Game Pass.
Hollow Knight is one of my favorite games, maybe of that type. Like
I couldn't beat it. It was too hard for me.
I did beat it. I love that. I beat it on Easter morning because I was
so
like I had
excited.
one boss left.
I was watching every tweet for that game for a year, and it came out, and I bought it instantly, and I was so excited. And then my dreams were crushed by the Soul Master. I cannot beat the damn thing.
It's a hard game.
I
It is
just
Dark
quit.
Souls. It is Dark
It's
Souls
hard.
in a Metroidvania.
But if you like that, it's a great game. Amazing art style.
Oh my god, the music is beautiful.
Yep.
And then if you like roguelikes or roguelites, Children of Morta is a good one because like Hades, it has an overarching progression to it and an overarching story. And it's beautiful. Highly recommend Children of Morta.
So there you go. 20 games, Game Pass. Go play them.
Boom. Go play all.
We'll see
just
you in March.
Scroll through the list and click install.
Oh,
and a
yeah.
bunch
Don't
of
forget
crap.
about Star Wars and Madden and all
Yeah, you got your big games. But this was
Battlefield.
like sleepers. This was like,
Sure.
sleeper recommendations. Also, Plague Tale Innocence is still on there. Great third-person character action game.
Titanfall 2.
Oh, Titanfall is one of my favorite shooter campaigns.
Titanfall
of
2
all
campaign is
time.
bonkers good. So,
It's
yeah.
blew my tiny mind. All right, what question do we want to go with next? Your turn to pick, Donnie.
Ooh, I
Putting
didn't
you on
even have
the
the notes
spot.
up.
Oh my god! All right, I'll go with one more. Will, is it worth upgrading to a Series X controller if I'm still planning on playing Xbox One X for another year?
Is it worth it?
I don't think so. I think at the $40 Black Friday price, yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
At $65, no.
And because
You don't need it.
all you're buying is a screenshot button.
But does that work on the One X?
Yeah,
Well, that's cool. But
it
I
is
mean,
totally back compatible. You can buy those now and just play with them.
it's a nicer piece of hardware.
It is better.
But it's
It's a better
not an
controller.
additional $65 right
It's
now.
Christmas.
have to
You know
have
what, Will? Buy the damn controller. Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Get
there
the
you go.
controller.
it. Okay. I like that. There we go. We've solved it. So you can't. Donnie will enable your S. Like
Dude.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm not.
he will.
It's look. We have a few folks that are really, like they're hunting deals. We have several
Oh, yeah.
folks, even on the team, that are like, "I'll wait
Oh,
for
yeah.
it to be $8." I'm not that guy. I'm the opposite of
No,
that guy.
I'm like Donnie. I'm just like whatever. It's only like I bought Yakuza.
It's just money.
and it's been $35.
Like I
and I'm
get
like,
it. It's just money. Just buy the thing. Be happy.
If you only have one controller, then absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a nice piece of hardware, dude.
All right.
I like it.
I can answer this question better. My controller broke, and I pulled out my Gears controller, and I played with it for about an hour, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to Best Buy and get a new controller, because I didn't want to play with the old controller anymore, because I wanted the new controller, because I already have the new controller.
It's a nicer piece of hardware. It is.
It is better. It's a
I'm
better
not going to lie to
controller.
you. It's
Feels
a nicer
better.
piece of hardware.
Fits better. It is a better controller.
The design lab needs to get up and running now because I
Next
want
year.
some dumb colors on my stupid controllers. So, all right, what else do we have here?
I'm gonna go with AJ's
Question-wise.
question.
Yeah.
What mini console remake is the one of your dreams, and what 2 to 3 games do you want on it?
I got my Super Nintendo
That was the
for a
one.
mini.
Oh,
That
I
was
went-
the one.
I went. You should have been around Nintendo Shack when that was happening.
Did you lose your mind?
I was like
It
DEF
has-
CON 1. I was like, guys, Pre-orders now.
I got two of those. I have the European one because I like the way that it looks, and I have the US one. That was mine. And it had, if you're looking for the 2 to 3 games, it's Super Metroid, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and Earthbound for me.
Oh, yeah,
those are my 3. Earthbound's my favorite of all time. I got my 3. I got it. What about you?
It's tough because it's really close. I can make a case for both, and it would be the Dreamcast or the N64 for different reasons, but they're real close. The Dreamcast, because I would love to have a little mini Dreamcast, because the emulation for Dreamcast is really good, and Dreamcast games actually still hold up quite well in the HD era. A lot of them look really nice even in 4x3, and you can still get a lot of really great early licensed stuff. Honestly, the Dreamcast is almost like the best version of a lot of favorite games that have been ported from like 64, PS2, Sega Saturn. Like the best versions of a lot of those games made their way to Dreamcast. Sure. And I would totally get it for a bunch of stuff that make everybody like groan over, but like old licensed NCAA games that don't exist anymore, like Game Breaker and stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's just no other.
Yeah, those franchises no other way. Died there.
Yeah, there's no other way.
Like some of the like Blitz and like NBA Jam and then the Sega stuff, but like not Shenmue and all the things people think about, like not that.
I didn't like most of those games, although I did like that version of Code Veronica.
I was just about to say Resident Evil games.
Yeah, they were good.
The wrestling games on Dreamcast, like a lot of those are good. So I would love that. But then 64, I almost bought that N64 Kickstarter HDMI thing.
It was bad.
It's bad. And I was happy I was able to cancel my pledge, but I can't tell you how long I've wanted a good HDMI 64, and that mod is like $400, and that's a road too far.
I own a $130 adapter that goes in the back of the Nintendo 64 that I like a great deal. No, I forget what it's actually called. It also works in the GameCube.
Nice.
Same port, and it works beautifully. And I played Doom 64 that way and was so happy. Doom 64, by the way, one of my favorite games. Like, I love that game.
I would prefer that they do it better. Like, I would prefer like some sort of upscale or anything. I think that would be great. But if there was a 64 that I could flash, because to be honest with you, in both these scenarios, I don't care what comes on it.
You're going to put more on it.
I want it for what I can put on it, not what it's going to come with. But the idea of having a little mini 64 with 4 wired 64 controllers to do kart and golf and
that would be so fun.
GoldenEye and WCW and W Revenge and stuff like that. Like that sounds super fun.
Mischief Makers, Yoshi's Story, those were 2, and they're expensive carts to pick up for me. I own one of them, but not both.
I will buy both of those at $150 each if they made them.
Don't just give it to me for under $100. That would be desirable.
Anyway. No, because like they did was a 60, 80. It's like, make the 64 for $100, and I'll give you $100, Nintendo.
I will also say a GBA style one that I could plug into a TV and then take with me.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't think they will. I think it would be cool if they did it. I don't think they will because I think you're just gonna put those games on the Switch Virtual Console type thing. But I just think it would be neat to have a little original GBA that could plug into the TV.
To make it Xbox, I almost bought an original Xbox.
I own one and it still works.
Did you know that it's an incredible like emulation box?
Media player and emulation box. Yeah, we used to when I was in grad school. Once the 360 was out and settled in, we used to pick those up super cheap on trades and just, wipe the hard drive, put on the software, and people would like dump their music collection.
Apparently, it's one of the best like emulation boxes you can get.
Very good.
And I was going to buy. I had worked it out a dealer on Etsy. He had a clear case. He had remodded everything and done everything to it. I was going to buy it for $300, and he just never got back to me.
That's too bad.
Because I wanted it to look real good. I didn't want like somebody's old 20-year-old console. Like I wanted it to look brand new and neat and everything.
Mine's still clean, and I recently had to put it away because I needed to make space for the behemoths that are in mine. But like, I could murder someone with that box. It's freaking heavy. I forgot how heavy it was. It makes the Series X look not as beefy.
Yeah. Oh no, it's massive. And I love the question because I love these little things. I've got the Sega one. I've got the Super Nintendo. I've got the NES.
I have a PlayStation.
I got the PlayStation. I bought my entire family one. And what I do with these is I get them, I mod them, I load all of my favorite games forever, and then they just serve as little impulse quellers. Yeah. When I get the impulse, I don't have to go buy the hardware and find a cart and a disc and everything, and just pull it out,
Sure.
plug it in, get my fill, and put it back away.
So the interesting thing about the ones that have been released is they will all power off of a 5-volt USB.
Yeah.
And my TV's USB ports will output 5 volts. So what I do is I leave a USB cord connected and I leave an HDMI, and they're just hanging out, and I just hot swap the one in I want. And that's what I do. And then my little remote just switches to that.
So my TV down here, my game TV, sits on a dresser.
Yeah.
And my dresser has little cabinets. I have drilled holes in the back of my cabinets, and all of my consoles sit inside there. So I just swap the cable.
Yep, I just move. Mine is like the little minis fit under the bezel of the TV.
Yeah.
So I just have a little spot where they just go, and Super Nintendo one is out now. Mm-hmm. These things are rad, and I love them, and I want them all.
Yep. I got a Clock Tower ROM from Japan that runs on Super Nintendo.
Weird.
I didn't know they made like the Clock Tower game for a Super Nintendo.
That's weird.
And then I also got an NCAA football mod of Tecmo Bowl, and it's
That's
awesome.
Wild. I want a GameCube one, which is completely unreasonable, just so I can have a little spice orange GameCube.
That'd be
just
cute.
A teeny little.
Yeah.
It would be adorable.
I'd buy
just
that
want
too.
one.
To be quite honest with you, I'll buy them all.
Just sell them to me.
Yeah. Like a PS2 one. Yeah,
sure. I have my little slim PS2 still, and I still don't understand how that plays the video games the way it does. It's so cute. It's so small. So small.
Yep.
All right, what else do we have in this list? All right, I like this one from Terrell. Have you had any Series X or S crashes? Call of Duty Cold War had me swearing as it crashed so many times. And an unrelated food question, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish normally, but what really showed up this year? That's a fun one.
I'm going to piggyback off this because Ryan's question right above him was, he says he really loves the quick load times of Series X. What I don't appreciate is so many of the games are occasionally locking up or quitting. Have either of you experienced this? I haven't.
No, I've not had any crashes. I haven't played Call of Duty yet, so that's on my list. And I've not had any games hard crash to desktop, so to speak, on me in a long time, actually.
I haven't. I can't recall one time. I do know it's a thing. I'm not saying it's not. I've seen people report it. I'm not having, this is not a thing for me. The one thing that I did experience, and I think Seth experienced it, I reached out to him earlier today about it. Seth was talking in the Discord how his TV keeps blinking.
That's an HDMI
It's a handoff.
handshake. It's a handoff. You can turn off the HDMI. Like there's I had to do this on my PS5 because the handoff on PS5 dropping out was causing it to push the PS5 into rest mode. So I actually turned off I Googled it. It happened once and I was like, what the hell was this? I was in the middle of playing Sackboy. And somebody was like, yeah, there's an HDMI sync or whatever, like essentially a handshake. There's a flip switch in the PS5 to turn it off. You rebuild your database. Everything is cool. I wonder if you can shut it off. This is not HDCP. If you turn off HDCP, media will be a problem for you. But there is an HDMI sync thing.
I looked it up and I was looking at TVs, and one of the guys about my TV specifically, I have the LG NanoCell, the new one, and he recommended you turn off 24 hertz.
Interesting.
And it's something else. I think set the resolution. Don't leave it to automatic.
Because
he was saying the automatic was your TV might be in 4K, but the game might be in 1080p or upscale to 1440p, and that's causing the issue. Is that the TV keeps trying to reconcile the resolution of the picture. So set it to automatic or set it to what your picture is. So if you're 4K TV, set it to 4K. If you're not 4K, set it to something else. Turn off automatic. Turn off 24 hertz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because apparently nothing off the console runs at that. So turn it off because it keeps looking for it. Because the reason I bring it up, Jack's console was doing, not mine. I've not experienced it all, but Jack, Series S.
On a different
upstairs, TV. 4K TV. Series S on a 4K TV.
Yeah, you
running games that aren't in 4K on a 4K TV. It kept doing it last night. He was trying to play Destiny. So I turned it off. I did those things. It's not happened since. So if you're having a little blinky thing, go through those settings.
Setting the resolution on your TV and not setting it to auto is important for almost any input device. Let your TV's upscalers do their job. They are there to do that job. And
Nathan says uncheck allow YCC 422. That was the other one. Yep.
There's the other one.
Too.
And that's also in the sync. So I have not had any like hard box crashes, to Terrell's question. Or I don't know. For Thanksgiving, dude, like the mashed potatoes have to be there, and we made like 4 times as many mashed potatoes as a human person could eat. We ate mashed potatoes pretty much straight up for like 5 straight days.
It's a good time.
So happy. It was good. You had everything different.
I'm also
this year.
a mashed potatoes person.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Put
I
a
mean
stick of
that
butter in
that
those.
is my answer. Like I want mashed potatoes. I could care less about turkey or ham or whatever you want to do.
Same.
But mashed potatoes have to be there.
And they
I
butter
like-
and cream.
I like
in 'em.
stuffing.
I love stuffing.
Yeah, and
I like-
pumpkin pie is a must for me.
I agree with you. I made a pumpkin pie and 2 apple pies this year. I'm the only person in my house who ate the pumpkin pie. I don't care.
My son hates pumpkin pie, and I'm not sure
My kids
where he came from.
my kids and my husband just prefer the apples, so when they have the choice,
Sure.
I'm just like, I will eat this pumpkin pie with a fork out of the tin.
Warm
mine now.
pumpkin pie with like a dollop, like a cold dollop of whipped cream. That is so Thanksgiving.
I like cold pumpkin pie as breakfast with hot coffee the next
That's
day.
also good
Favorite. My favorite Thanksgiving tradition is that I always get too full off dinner to eat pie, and I will not eat until I feel sick. I know better, so my dessert is always the next morning.
Are we recording the next show before the Game Awards, right?
The Game Awards are the 10th, so yes.
So we'll
if we
save
got
that
Game
question.
Awards questions, we can hold on to those.
All right, so
that's cool.
let's do Yarden's question after the last 2 questions we had. They kind of dovetail. It says, can you discuss the media bias with the PS5 technical problems versus the X and the S? Example, trying to make a bigger deal out of quick resume not working all the time, rather than the need to factory reset the PlayStation if you put it in rest mode. Ridiculous. So you have both. I imagine that you probably stick to PS5 news closer than I do. Do you think there's a media bias?
My feed is pretty balanced. I'm finding either people have the same number of people have one or the other. So the stuff that gets retweeted into my socials feed, I'm seeing more of people having conniption fits over their PS5, giving them problems, to be very honest with you.
I was going to say, I feel like I'm more aware that PS5s are having issues. That's
big
a thing.
Ones, like actual beefy
crashing.
issues.
Not just like a game quitting
No.
to the desktop. Like the entire console is shutting
Hard
off.
crash to shut off. And I've had one. I haven't had one since, knock on wood. And then I had that handshaking issue that I had to
Delvin
resolve.
says
with
it happens like every time he plays. And I've
That's
seen
crazy.
other people that had it. And I retweeted an article earlier. Apparently there's like certain PS5s have a certain fan in them. And other ones have a completely different fan. And one of them is 17
wild.
blades. The other one is 10. And I don't mean to say, I don't think there's a bias, but I will say this. Maybe I am about to say that I think there's a bias. Here's what I'm about to say. You remember when the Xbox was melting? And you remember the news that it generated?
Sure. Yes.
If Xboxes were crashing to the degree
it would
that
be a
I think
connection fit.
PlayStations were crashing, I feel like
Maybe.
it might be bigger news. Because it seems to be a lot of the people with the PlayStation 5 are like, it crashes, but you rebuild your database, you restart the game, and it's fine. It seems like a lot of people are okay with it. Like, they're just like, yeah, what are you going to do with the launch? I don't feel like that would be the case if it was Xbox.
I think the thing about... So, the Red Ring did not happen at launch. The Red Ring crept on
It took time.
later. It took time. And so, like, looking at it that way, like, it's a little bit more of a challenging conversation. I think if these things were legitimately overheating, then yes, it would be a huge story. And I think it would be a huge story because that's a F up on Microsoft's
I only
part.
use
You
that as
can't
an
make that
example as
twice,
to how
you know?
much news it made when the story wasn't even a story.
Fair.
And how
fair.
much news it made. It was a big news week. Like that week, it was all about it.
Yes. Well,
Right?
it was
But here you have PlayStation 5s that have a legit issue.
Sure.
And it's not big news. It's not big news.
I think it has been. Like, I've
You
seen
think it's
a
been
lot
big
of...
news?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of outlets writing stories about that sucker.
Okay.
Because it's just because you're not looking for
I don't
it.
follow PlayStation outlets.
Right.
But
So
the majority of people that I see experiencing it seem to be taking it in stride. They're like, it's okay.
because I think this is just me speculating, in a difficult ass year, you're willing to write that off just to have the joy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like 2020's not been easy. I'm almost willing to hand wave those crashes and be like, at least I
would
still
be
have a console.
Very concerned if my Xbox was just
Sure.
crashing. like Ryan, the person before us, like if my box was just crashing, I'd be on the phone with Microsoft. I'd want a new one.
I think this is largely a firmware issue on Sony's
I
part.
agree.
And I do think it's going to get sorted out. And I do think it sucks to have a $500 piece of hardware not acting the way you expect it to. But I do think a lot of people are choosing to write it off, not because they're giving Sony a pass, but because they need this moment. Do you understand? Like, they need that joy and they need that happy, and they're just like, whatever, I can fix it and get through, but I need this good vibe right now.
Is the PlayStation, is it a heat issue?
I don't think so. Mine does not get hot enough for it to be a heat issue.
Because I remember talking to Haley about one of the issues that was being reported, and I think they were saying that was the RAM. Yeah, now I remember it. The RAM chip on the board doesn't touch a heatsink. And there was like a teardown video that proved it. And
I know that's
true.
true.
They were recording the temperatures of that thing, and it was like 97 degrees. It was really hot. And
Fair
they
enough.
were saying that could be a reason for some of them, especially if you don't have it well ventilated, maybe a warmer climate, that it could be shutting itself off.
Sure. But the crash system software crash that the system acknowledges when you boot it back up is not like I'm too hot, I'm protecting myself. It's not a graceful shutdown. It's
that database thing.
It's bad. Like, it's not a good shutdown. It's like, a Windows blue screen to a reboot kind of shutdown. Like, it shuts itself off. You don't get an indication. But when you boot it back up, it's like, oh, something happened. I need to
rebuild
do
and
a
redo
thing.
all its
Yeah.
thing.
It's like when the PS4 would have that issue.
Yeah.
Like if you left your PS4 on and the power went out, and it'd be like, yo, I don't like this. So it's not a graceful. It's not a graceful crash. That leads me to believe it's probably like software. If it was a heat crash, usually systems have catches.
It's like they're indexing, like how they index all their files in the back end.
Yeah.
PlayStation's not great at that. And I'm not trying to throw stones. They're not great at that.
They're not. They're not. It's never been good. It's
never been good. Yeah, that's a bad way of putting it. It's never been good on that side of the house.
I don't leave a PlayStation that I own in rest mode. Since the original PS4, I just don't. And I have less problems when I just shut them down. So I think that if you follow the PlayStation side of the house, people are upset. Like the media is grabbed on. They've written stories. It's there.
Seems to be a little rocky.
People are writing it off in a lot of the same way we're writing off quick resume stuff, because you know what? Just give me if I can fix it.
Well, see,
and it's
the
not
quick
bricked,
resume
give
thing
me my
isn't
joy.
bothering me because it's not stopping me from doing
I don't
anything.
care. Yeah, I don't
right.
care.
Like that's the thing about quick resume. Like it almost feels like the people that are bringing it, making an issue out of it. It's like, I get it. You want it to work all the time, but it doesn't work all the time right now. But like, it's not stopping you from playing anything. It really doesn't matter. Like if it wasn't even there, like if they had never mentioned it,
they should have never mentioned it.
If they had never mentioned it, nobody would care.
Should have never mentioned it. But I think for a lot of people, the PS5 issue is like, I have a fix for it. I can get it back up and running. It hasn't bricked my machine. There's a small subset of people who have had bricked. So that's what it is. It's like, I can fix it, so who cares? And I get that. Because we all need that right now,
Yeah.
So, Sony's pushed 2 software updates for the thing already. So they're fixing things. Let's see how long it takes them to get it right.
Jeff was saying that they just kind of like slapped their new OS features like on top of the old one.
It feels that way.
Like when you get in the settings and stuff, it's just a PlayStation 4.
You can see some of that, like the old stuff. So I think that this is just another matter of software development coming in super hot, and give them a little time. And I know it's a $500 box. No one wants to give anyone
Get those
time.
stability patches like Nintendo.
They've pushed Nintendo system software update for stability. That's not a patch note.
My 3DS is so stable.
Oh yeah, no, I have the most stable 3DS, y'all. It stands by itself and just holds its arms out and says, "Come at me, bro." You can't.
On that drive, another thing, and I don't mean to turn this into a PlayStation show. I don't talk PlayStation much, but on that drive on the PS5, I was reading the Verge article that there's a partition of the drive that's just set to other that nobody knows what it is. Have you checked that?
That's where they hide the aliens. No, I didn't.
I was wondering if could that be one of the file indexing issues that they're having?
Maybe. I have no idea. I wish I knew somebody.
It was a strange article because there was like, as they installed more games that was already being accounted for, the other kept going up. But when they uninstalled it, it didn't go down the same that it went up and stuff. I was like, what?
That's the PlayStation software version of that little stupid metal monolith that they found in Utah. And just don't look at it. Don't look directly. It'll be fine. Don't worry.
What are the Astrobots doing in that thing?
We can't talk about that on this show. It's a family show, Donnie.
Hey, but that controller though. Just keep talking about that.
Hey, look.
It's revolutionary.
I freaking really like that.
Game may not run, may shut off.
Games are playing fine.
You can still hold that controller.
Why you got to start? Why you got to start with people? He hates Sea of Thieves and State of Decay, and now he's... You're going to start... I don't need your hate mail.
Well, here's the thing, is we probably have all these new listeners. Hi, Eurogamer fans. And they've turned us off. They've turned us off.
Yeah, I'm sorry for him. Now I have to apologize for you.
We're losing them across the board. Hey, listen, I love Forza, I love Gears, I love Fable. I wish there was more of that to talk about it. There are games that I actually like. I'm not always a curmudgeon.
No, just most of the time, kids. Don't worry.
Somebody's got to be.
Yeah, because I have the joy, so you're like balancing out my nonsense. There you go. We have any more questions we want to tackle before we say
Not
goodbye
tonight.
for the night?
It's an hour and a half. That's enough.
He's tired. See, he's
No,
grumpy
it's
and
not.
old.
No,
It's
no,
past his
no, not at
bedtime.
all. No, I would sit here and talk to you all night long. I'm not grumpy
I
at
know.
all.
I'm
having a
teasing
blast.
you. I'm teasing you.
I hope
This is-
I hope listeners don't feel that way.
No, I don't think listeners
Sorry,
feel that
CJ.
way.
I wish I liked
I
Sea of
just-
Thieves.
Just when he's forgotten. Like, this is what I deal with, you guys, and it's like a marriage. It's like a marriage where he makes me roll my eyes and sigh loudly, and then I go upstairs.
I'm
and
so excited we get to play Immortals tomorrow, or I get to play Immortals tomorrow. I
I'm
can't
probably
wait.
gonna-
I might play it at
probably-
midnight. It's not that far
You're
away.
really? Did you
Yeah,
buy it
it's 2
digitally?
hours. Yeah, of course.
Is it preloaded already?
Of course.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? It's video games in
Of course.
2020.
On the internal. It's Donnie's video games. Everything's preloaded.
No,
I've
it's
preloaded
fine.
Haven. I preloaded Call of the Sea. It's all preloaded. Of course.
He's literally a dragon in a dark cave, sitting on top of a golden pile of video
I go
games.
through.
It's my favorite.
I go through the store in the Game Pass app. It's like a ritual. Every time I sit down to play, like I pop open and I go through and I'm like, oh yeah, let's add that. And let's add that. And let's add that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Bandwidth caps. You don't need to.
I don't have
look
one.
At me. Do you not have one?
No,
I'm
I have
about
no
to
data
get one
cap.
in. I'm gonna get one in January. I don't hit it yet. Even with all these digital games, I don't
Really?
hit the cap.
Oh, I crushed through a terabyte.
I mean, the cap is 1.2 terabytes.
Yeah, as I say,
So-
usually the cap is a terabyte, and I crushed through a terabyte a month.
I'll pay them their protection.
I'm
money
on
with
the
unlimited.
I'm on the Comcast business partner plan.
That
So I have
one
a,
is yes.
I have a business line. It's a little bit more expensive out here, but I have a dedicated line, and there's no data cap, and that's why I signed up for it. But you got to sign up for like a 3-year contract.
I'm not gonna switch. That's not. I need internet, kids. I'll just pay them their protection money and open up my
That's it.
cap. It's $30 a month. It's not fun. I don't want to, but the one thing I use more than anything is the freaking internet.
So,
So
I mean, like with the streaming, right? You get into like the Stadia folks or the Luna folks.
Yeah.
I played Luna this week, by the way.
Ooh.
They talk about it all the time. They're like, well, over here you don't have to download games, and they use that like a win, like a one up. They're like, when you want to play a game, you got to sit there and wait for it to download. It's like, but I don't, because I downloaded it 3 weeks before it ever came out.
because Donnie is hoarding video games for a
hoarding.
household. It's hoarding.
Prepping, okay? Doomsday preppers.
I was just gonna make it. But you won't play State of Decay 2, but you're prepping for the doomsday of video games.
I may have
He's
been a
gonna
little
have
bit
4
too down on it. I played that game for about a week.
Teasing you.
No,
I'm
I know,
teasing
but
you.
I may have been a little too down on it. But yeah, I really, State of Decay 2 just turned me off. And
I am gonna.
I really wanted them to do anything else. Just do one other thing before doing
not
State of
gonna
Decay
happen.
3. And yeah, I think you're right. I think they're just going to do State of Decay forever.
That's what they're. And then eventually they will dissolve that studio.
You know,
into
one
other
thing I
people.
didn't say about that game, it's kind of janky. And that's a
Oh
part
no,
of it.
absolutely. But
That's
I
a
love
part
that.
of it. It's not like super polished and nice and AAA. It's totally kind of janky.
That's why I like it. I love games that are broken in those particular ways.
It kind of has like this upscale AA, like
Yeah.
THQ type
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
You know, it really
Mm-hmm.
does. And it's like, you're a first party studio, guys.
Well, they weren't when they made that game.
Right. But
Were
then they
they?
made the second one and they were. It's like, I need you guys to.
Microsoft, they're over there like Microsoft knew what they bought, dude.
But
And they
with
did.
Game Pass, I don't think Microsoft cares. They're like,
No, they
can
don't.
you get a game out?
Yes.
Great.
And you get a game, and you get a game, and Microsoft
Great.
is not stupid. Tony
Thanks,
the Tiger.
guys.
Yeah. So before we go, actually, you've reminded me. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon producers, because everybody makes this show possible. But we appreciate them, and we will give them their name list. That's how you say that.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you to Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Bonesaw Bourbon, Chris McElfresh, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Paul Calicote, Michael Masick, The Egg Shen, Zach Bradshaw, Nick Fallhaber, Rude Days 93, Rob Emanuel, Ben Moxham, and Grouchy Surge. It's so good. How can you be grouchy when you have Tony the Tiger
best.
handle? It is the best.
He's
They're
sporting
great.
a PSVG backpack.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a dumb onesie this week, by the way, before we
We
close
got
the
Xbox
show.
onesies.
I totally bought the stupid onesie, and it comes
Hope
out
mine
in...
fits.
Oh, I got a hold of support. Those are flat line measurements.
They are. So mine's going to be
yes.
like
So
super
you're good-
huge then.
Maybe.
Because
I don't know.
I went up a size too.
I got a small.
So I told my
I'm
wife, I was like, I'm going to go up a size because I'm scared. And her response was, it's a onesie.
Yeah.
She was like, the
it's-
bigger, the better.
She's right. She's right. And I showed, oh my God, my husband came back from walking the dog.
Did your
and, like,
husband hang his head in shame? Because my wife was like, what?
Yeah. So I'm like, come here. Look what I bought. And I pointed to the screen and he looks at the screen. I'm sitting at my work computer. I'm an adult with an engineering job. I'm a grown up. And he looks at me and he rolls his eyes so hard I thought he was going to pull a muscle. And he says nothing and just walks away. I'm like, but it has a pocket for my controller.
Right.
He's just gone.
I showed her the picture and she was like, what is that? I was like, this could be me and Elaine soon.
It's a onesie.
She was like, you guys are getting matching onesies. Like,
yeah, and matching mugs.
Absolutely we are.
We bought
and
matching mugs
like,
too. Right,
just...
that's what my husband did. He's like, you just keep making internet friends and it just keeps getting stupider. And I'm like, yeah.
I cannot wait. I've wanted one of those onesies for 2 years.
I wanted the white one that came out a while ago, but it's white, and that's a nightmare.
First one, right?
Yes, and that was white onesies. Who does that?
And then there was the black one, and I missed it.
Same. I also missed that one, and it was a little bit more expensive. This one was semi-reasonable for.
I'm actually glad that I missed it because I like the design more.
It's
got like the little embellishments, a little more flashy.
It's a hood.
I
like a hood.
It's got the little lines.
It's out in February and it's right around my birthday. And I'm just like, I was like, Don, I bought myself a birthday present. And he's just like, you're not allowed on the internet anymore. I'm like, I need it for my job. He's like, well, we're screwed.
It's a write-off. It's going to be so good.
I can't wait to
Matching
take work Zoom
onesie
calls
day.
in it.
Yes. I'm going to do that too.
I'm going to do it. Like, hey guys.
I'm going to go get the mail.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm going to wave at my neighbors in it. 100%.
Ooh, we should do like a who can take it the furthest challenge.
Oh no. Just
I might go grocery shopping in onesie.
I wonder if I can convince my husband to no, definitely not.
Might be safer in COVID.
I'll just wear, I need an Xbox mask and then the onesie with the hood up.
That's next level.
See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to Target.
I'm
going to wave at all the really like soccer moms.
This worked out well for me too because I had messaged their PR person and I was, because I've been checking on them for a while and I was like, hey, are you going to make the onesies? And I went and looked after I messaged it, and they were all ready for pre-order. They hadn't announced them yet.
No, they just, and then Larry retweeted it.
So I'd already bought it before he'd even tweeted it. I was like, oh, the moment I saw they were for pre-order, I bought it. Here's the funny thing. I actually bought one around E3 because on the store page, they went live. I have an alert set up for it. So I get an email every time the onesies go up. And
oh my God.
I ordered 2 of them and they canceled it. So they canceled. I ordered another one, they canceled again. So that's how much I've been trying to find a onesie.
I got a onesie. And I might order they have
I have an eBay alert set up for secondhand ones.
Do you really? I don't think I want to wear a secondhand
I haven't gotten one.
People do things in onesies. I don't want somebody's pre-owned onesie. I want a fresh onesie that's in a plastic,
fresh onesie.
I want a fresh onesie. I think that's going to do it this week, kids. If you want a onesie, check out the Xbox Gear Store. We're not affiliated with them. I just think this stuff is dope. We should. They have dope t-shirts. They should give us a discount code. We should message their PR.
I was a little upset that they announced that today because they had the Fan Fest. Yeah, because I bought a hoodie during the Fan Fest. And a coffee mug, and then I got the onesie, and then today they come out with the colored shirts. I'm like, I could have put all of this in one box and saved myself $15.
The gradients on the shirts, the purple and the blue and the green, are dope.
All the
so I'm gonna need one of those because it kind of goes with my testing.
Same.
So that's where we're at.
Too.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those. All right, kids. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can follow Donnie at Eat the Hype, but he's not on social as much these days, which is better for his mental health.
I'm having a blast.
I'm at ET Dragon. You can follow the Xbox Empire on Twitter as well, or join us on the Discord. And that's going to do it this week. And we will see you guys next week with more video games.
Bye.